promise us that something else is
You
going to
will
be
pull permit before the month or so, we'll pull permits. As soon as we get a permit, we'll go under construction. And to go under construction, I need funds to buy material and to pay people to build it.
So is there a motion for the 8th to carry to the 18th of December?
So moved.
Council President Still, you open for discussion, yes?
Sure, please.
May I?
Yes.
Sir, I'm inquiring about the grasslands around the building. And I know that doesn't cost really anything.
Grass cutting, yes, we will take care of
It's,
it.
right.
We'll take care, we take care by the fence already. We did it about 3 weeks ago, when Kevin came over and said, trim the fence, and we did it right away,
Okay.
okay?
It's,
Now-
I stood across from your property and I looked.
That's okay.
I almost could not see the building because of how high the grass is. And that's-
Well,
So that, what I'm saying is,
we got too many kids going to the behind the backyard from the railroad tracks.
So the point-
I have to have
right.
some action to get those kids out of there. The other day, they were not 12 years old or 15 years old, they were 6 or 7 years old, walking through the back, okay? There's no way you can stop them as they don't walk.
Right.
They're walking, you know what I mean? When they come into the bottom, they cannot get out. This is why we keep some area open, they're able to get out. So we close everything, they have to go back all the way up, they try to jump the fence and they get hurt. That's what we're doing.
sir, I'm just mentioning the landscaping over
Yeah.
there, which for the residents that live on Heckman Street, that draws other animals out from the wooded area towards them and rodents into their house. And it's not a good quality of life for the folks on Heckman Street to allow that grass, which you talked about, the build it properly and all this. Yes, that does take a lot of money, but a lawnmower doesn't, and a weed whacker doesn't.
Well, it's not
So
just a
I-
lawnmower, we'll take care of it, I'll take care of it.
And
I
if you cut
promise you,
that,
we'll take care of it.
if you get that cut, you'll be able to see those kids a lot easier.
Yeah, I know, but it's a lot
There
of
you
land
go.
there, it's a lot of work to be done to
Right.
go with the lawnmower.
Well, if you-
There's a lot of.
Well, I'll say
of
that if
debris
you-
there.
if
Used
you-
to be railroad trucks, you guys know it's there, it used
Right.
to be railroad truck. Now, the railroad truck, we took it down a couple of years ago. The railroad truck is gone, all the wood is gone, now it's left the cement
Sure.
blocks and cement balls and all that kind of stuff. That takes time to get rid of it, you know what I mean? We will eventually, I got a plan for 220 Stock District, is a project below that we own also. That project will be developed in the next process. The architect is working for 3 months on it, he's not giving me nothing yet. But he will give me something to take that project below and put everything like a mechanic garages or whatever it is, you know, whatever we need to be to put there. You know what I mean? And that's what we try to do. As you remember, you guys from the town, Rob Pallet used to be there. What they used to do, pallets, sell old pallets, or fixed pallets, or make pallets, and that's what we try to do.
Sir, you understand, and I'm only asking you, I'm asking probably counselor to, in addition to that meeting, to also be inclusive of the grounds and the property of your responsibility, or whomever you represent's responsibility, to have that cleaned up, inclusive of these plans that we sit on now, because.
Yeah, but
again,
that particular property is a very small property. You guys should focus on different
and that's it,
properties.
then that'll be easy for you to clean up on.
Okay, it's a very small property, it's a
That'll-
driveway, that's what it owns, that
That's a
piece of
big-
property owns a
that's a
driveway.
big softball
That's it,
for you,
what it
then.
is.
There you go.
A little bit in the front, I will take care of it, you know what I mean? I don't want it to go with my tractor in, to not get a flat tire, I will figure it out how I can do it, all right?
I think there's a motion second for that.
Yeah, I have some discussion. Is there anyone else have anything?
Just one question, didn't we have a demolition cost associated with that building after the fire
We did,
that the town paid?
we did.
Have we assessed that back to the owner yet?
That's.
I haven't seen that lien
I
paid.
don't think that's coming before the council.
Demolition, what kind of demolition? Nobody did demolition, we did the demolition.
No, we got a bill.
Yeah, we were out there the entire night of the fire.
No, the mayor called the demolition company to sit over there on the front. And I did told him specifically, don't touch that building. He never went with the bulldozer or with the machine to do any work. Okay?
Oh, we got a bill.
You got a building, the guy was sitting over there from whatever the 5 stars up the 5 was complete. That was Wayne, the guy down the south of 57. And I specific, I said to him, don't touch that building, there's no insurance on it. The mayor did call him, because he jumped to the conclusion. He wants to knock it down the same day, it wouldn't happen. He's not the guy to make this decision, we're the owner, not him.
Well, sir, with all due respect, and I hardly stick up for the mayor, just so you understand.
Well, it's fine, the mayor's fine, because you're introduced to me like a
But at the
mayor.
same time, the mayor is responsible for that land. You can be the landowner, but you own the land here in the town of Phillipsburg.
Okay,
Right? So ultimately, the town of Phillipsburg is responsible for your land,
okay.
okay? We're trying to work with you, and I see there's a little hostility, and it brought out a little anger in me. Especially,
Listen, I deal every day with problems. This is a problem, this is an issue. But we are Pittsburgh, we are in Phillipsburg. There's no tenants that come along to rent any spaces. We got a building, 300,000 square feet, 75% of the building's empty, and we pay $148,000 in tax. And nobody does nothing about her tax.
who's tax?
The building tax, the property tax.
Well, so you want me to pay your taxes? Is that what you're asking?
I don't want you to pay the tax, well, I like to pay the right enough amount of it.
Oh, I don't disagree. But
you disagree?
in the current state that it's in, I don't see anyone knocking down doors to get into that building.
I don't talk about that building. See, you don't understand.
I think-
224 Stockton Street, it's not just a little building, it's the full complex.
Council President,
Yes.
I think we've gone beyond the scope of the habitability hearing. with this.
Okay, I just had a question. I think there's a misunderstanding, so it's.
You bring one little building, that's a part of the little portion of the complex. That's what he's talking about. The lot, whatever the lot number, the block number, owns 11 acres with 300,000 square feet of building on it. Okay, that owns the Mariana and everything compared surrounding it.
So
But
the entire complex?
it's all complex, that's the property, goes, that little building you burned down is a part of that complex.
Well, I'm glad that you consider it a little building. I mean, it says a lot for the property owners. However, it's a big building to me. Okay? So, I think we're being more than generous in saying we'll work out something in 2 months.
I have no problem at all. We will pull permit, and I will clean up the debris, and I will cut the grass, whatever you guys want to, and then we'll go on the construction, but finish by end of the year, probably not. We will have a structure done, probably, but the roof of mine will be through, so the window holds up, probably will be done. Depends how it will work out. We wanted to build, but we decided to build, then we put it together. You know what I mean? That's not the problem there. But, you know, you guys pushing us to do it, but it's no tenant. Even I put her out, there's no tenant to go in.
Right, but it'll look nicer.
Well, it look nice for who? Pay me tax?
Well, I don't know, it looks nicer for the.
For what, the guy goes to the street, just pay nothing? Come on. That's a
He
beautiful
pays taxes and he's a resident.
Well, we pay tax, everybody pay tax. That's
But he is a resident.
Okay? But the problem is that you have to have an understanding. So we have a tenant to put in, it's fine. But if we built for something, what are we built for?
Well, I'm at a loss for words at this point in time.
Why you
Council President,
I'm gonna defer to council. Get ahead, Councilman Davis.
we have a motion to second to postpone. I think we've gotten the substantive information that we require from Mr. Reposo. So I think we're good to postpone it to, or to continue the hearing in December.
I would agree.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Roll call?
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President Giralamo?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Council President Colbert?
Yes. That was, what date was that?
December 18th.
See you on the 18th?
December 18th?
Yes.
December 18th, I'm all right.
All right.
I'm
Thank
good.
you.
No problem.
Happy Halloween, happy Thanksgiving, and I'll see you
No,
in
we
December.
will start construction before then, you don't need, I'll pull permits before that.
I'll see you on the
Yeah,
18th.
you don't have no problem. I wish that Kevin Doughty was here, who will explain to you what I'm going through to get that thing all together. It's not that simple like everybody else says. You know what I mean? Oh, we'll get it together, okay? Thank you, I appreciate it, have a nice day.
Enjoy your evening with your
Thank you,
children.
thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Thank you. Last on our agenda, we have overtime. So open time, starting with Councilman Lutz.
Well, I was going to say a hell of a lot, but
Do it. Go for it.
I
Councilman
like-
45 minutes. Go ahead.
I like council to ask Vicki if she would write a letter to Mr. Chagada, because we haven't received their minutes and the money spent from the UEC. And if you don't mind, I'd like to ask Vicki to write that.
No, I don't mind at all.
Okay. Because his comment was, well, they're here in this office, if you want to see them, here they are. No, it doesn't work that way. If we request, I think that we can get the material. Mercer Street has a drone problem, a drone problem, and I asked the attorney to look things up that we can possibly get an ordinance to help these people out on Mercer Street. There's a guy that's flying his drone, and they're in a hot tub, and you see a drone sitting right there on top of you. There's another drone same guy, I guess. 3 people came to my house on last Sunday, and I swore to him that I would ask the attorney to see what's in the makings for a drone for the municipalities. Nothing against Blake, nothing against, but I'm just saying. So you said you would get that
Yes.
and you would work on it. That's all I have to say, so he knows that I said something.
We're not talking about a drone ban though, right? We're kind of like, we're talking about a behavioral issue? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
You have to have a license or an operator
FAA.
for that
FAA.
right now, don't you?
Yeah, I don't
Once-
think we're allowed to ban them, so we have to
Yeah, we have to try to control.
kind of curb the behavior. I'd like to
Yeah.
know who the guy is. Don't say it here,
Yeah.
we'll talk
No.
afterwards. No, I know better than that, Councilman.
Once again, I would like council to stand behind me and have Vicki write a letter to the mayor to move the kiosks from Wine Coop to Market Street. My wife and I were down on Market Street over the weekend, and every spot was totally filled.
So you're making a motion?
Every spot.
That would be a motion.
So I'd like to make a motion again to send a letter to the mayor, have the kiosk moved down to Market Street.
I'll second. Roll call?
Councilman Lutz?
Yes.
Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Council President Fulmer?
Yes.
And I'd just like to say, the mayor's not here, but I'd just like to say, I think the people on Cherry Lane, or Cherry Alley, whatever you want to call it, put up enough aggravation with the Conrail property. I know back, oh my God, this goes back, I can remember my dad taking me back there in the 50s where the train cars used to be, where the passenger train cars used to be. And they've been parking back there ever since. Yes, there was some people that made it very, very sloppy, and for 2 years I was after the mayor to please get down and have an officer clean up the area. Well, instead of cleaning up the area, they took them all off the property. And now they're parking on Stockton Street. And and you know, the funniest thing about it is, even though the people are off that property, they're still cutting their section for weeds and stuff. I know I cut the cross both sides of the street, but the other tenant that lives there, and there's only six families that live there. So I can't see why it's a crime where they can't go back. If we set up something, if council set up something like a permit, so you stick them in the cars and the rest get ticketed or whatever, but I think the people on Cherry Alley has had enough, seriously. And it's all because of he was trying to make, he was going to put a playground back there and a walk path and stuff like that. But if you read the contract, you're not allowed to put anything on that property. You're not allowed to put nothing on that property. You can take it over, but you can't put a walkway, a walk path, playgrounds, picnic tables, nothing. You can't do anything like that. So I wish we could go back to where we used to be on Cherry Alley. And last meeting that we had, when we had the downtown merchants here, I said my piece. I said why I was turning it down, the liquor license, because of I already turned down the other one for the Walters Park, or for the Old Town Fest down on Riverside Way. So we wake up the next morning and my camera was broken, my spouting was broken on my garage. And I'd just like to thank the people who did it. Your turn will come. Takes a little time, calm as a bitch, but it will come and get you. Just remember that. Thank you, that's all I have.
In the interest of time, Councilman Davis, would you like to go?
No, I think I should be good. I've got another 15 minutes. So
Okay.
just that.
You think so? Well, gotta go to Councilman.
You don't let me go again.
Go ahead, Council Vice President.
Actually, I don't have a whole lot, but one subject probably will be lengthy. I just wanted to thank DPW staff. After a resident was asking a lot of questions about weeds in the street, I concurred, made a complaint because I have to look at it every week. And 2 truckloads later, all that grass is out of the street over at Bentley Field. It's not out of the sidewalk, but it's out of the street at least. My husband said it was a sight to see how much grass and dirt came up out of the street. It was pretty bad. So I encourage you again, if there's an issue,
I'll get down Russell Street.
you know what? Document is all I can say.
There's trees
If
growing.
you've got a spot, I sent pictures, and clearly I sat here at a council meeting and showed pictures of it, and it was done the next week. So I encourage you, send it to one of us. We'll bring it up at a council meeting. Maybe we can get some action done for you as well, but I just wanted to thank DPW staff for taking care of that. Actually, we really covered the 2 buildings, so I wanted to ask about that. Drug traffic on South Main Street. I've been down South Main Street every day, 8 o'clock at night. Everybody that lives on that 400 block of South Main Street says it's very predictable. At 8 o'clock at night, there's drug traffic going on every night, but there's no police anywhere. So, Mr. McVeigh, can we look into police patrol increasing when it gets dark out in that 400 block of South Main Street? Because they said they're all out-of-town vehicles. So if we could,
I'll touch on that in open time.
okay, thank you. Last, I have been on the phone every morning for the last 2 weeks at about 7:20 a.m. Talking about recreation. So we have a challenge. The mayor was present. We spoke about it at our the meeting with the superintendent of the school, as well as the school board president, vice president, myself, the mayor, and Mr. Lodes. We talked about, the superintendent agreed. We all pay taxes, the facilities are there, we should all be able to utilize them. Fantastic, love it. But we have a challenge getting all our basketball teams playing because the youth center now wants to charge anywhere from $60 to $65 an hour. So my calculations, based on the organization that pays the most of the school district, which happens to be Phillipsburg Little Lions Football, is about $45 an hour, and that would only be for 5 home games. But money-wise, that's what that costed out to. So I proposed them a more reasonable number, I felt would be in the $40 range than $65 an hour. Now, we did already stipend the youth center a significant amount, and based on their reported revenue on the last 3 years of tax returns they filed, that's about 20% of their income that we already gave them. And based on what we paid them for, it was all their utilities for about 9 months. So I'm not sure why we're asking them to pay when historically they have not. However, I know they're in a pinch. I know their funding has significantly declined, and that's part of the reason the services at the youth center went down over the years. Kudos to Dawn. She had a fixed amount of money, and she stretched it out as long as she could. You know, That's what it was. So if you want to increase programming, it costs more money. If you don't have the money to do it, you either don't do it or you start charging people more money. So I asked for the recreation expenses to see where we were to date, because I said, fine, I need to find $8,000 so I can not worry about this problem anymore for the youth organizations. Sadly, I found out yesterday, all the recreation money is almost spent for the year. However, what? I was kind of surprised too. So, right. Well, we could go into that detail another time, but, so yeah, it's all spent, which was a surprise. I wasn't expecting that. I thought there would be at least $8,000 we could set aside from something else, but there's not. What Mr. Merlot did state was come November, which would be when bills would come due, there may be money we can transfer and do a transfer to accommodate that. So what am I asking? I'm asking that we look at, we have to do a couple things. Number one, we need the mayor to negotiate a contract for shared services with either the youth center or the school district to allow the Frithtown Falcons and the Still Hill Bulldogs only to play their games at a negotiated rate. I don't want to pay the going rate.
But to November, they're already in a pinch with basketball.
Well, scheduling their game, I don't know when their games actually start. We didn't get that far. Everybody's in panic mode right now because of money. So I was surprised to find out we had none. So I need more detail from Bob, what may be transferable, because right now we don't have it to cover it.
Will we have the answer by the next Tuesday?
I hope so.
Okay.
I'm quite certain I'll see Bob tomorrow after we get finished with funds. So I'd like everybody to consider. The only problem I thought about it is I was reading some meeting minutes from 2012 and realized nobody used to pay for anything until everybody wanted one organization to pay. And then I was like, why were we always okay with nobody charging for recreation use? And then we just started charging. And here we are now that everybody has to pay and everybody wants us to pay for it. Which I'm a little confused about. So, I am supportive, despite I know why that took place. I'm still willing to support the organizations. I think it's the right thing to do, but I'd like to ask the mayor to start proceeding and talk to the youth center. I know you said you've been talking to Jeff. I don't know what that's about.
It's about you. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
But I would like to ask the mayor to start talking about that and come up with some type of agreement so that they can build the town as opposed to the youth organizations for these for the games. So, with permission, I will ask the mayor to proceed with that.
Yeah,
But I
but
didn't want to do it without talking to council.
I think
Because
it's-
if nobody is supportive of spending the money to help support them, I won't bother the mayor with it.
Well, I don't know how.
Isn't that a great way to say it?
I mean, that's really crazy, but, I mean, nobody foresees an issue, right?
Council, I have one question. I may ask the council.
Mm-hmm.
What about with the lawsuit that's going on with the one person at the youth center? Would that have any effect?
No.
No? Okay, just asking.
Those are safe. I didn't say you're safe, I said we're going to get that.
Whoa. Okay.
But that was all I had.
All right, well, thank you for your due diligence, and I hope that we'll have some more definitive answer next week, and you'll be working with the mayor on that?
I will ask yes.
I almost seem like, but the schools are larger, more dispersed, and they have larger gymnasiums, yes?
So according to the approximate estimate is 160 hours. So when you calculate that out, it's a lot of money. That's why I said, well, we need to negotiate something a little better, because 160 hours is a significant amount of money. So game time wise, that's what they were looking at. You know,
Well,
the organizations don't pay to practice right now.
we could build a basketball court in Union Square. I'm
Have a
just
great view.
saying, yes, they would.
It's like, wait, put a tent like that.
Could have done it in the Armory. There's already a gym.
I know.
If the taxes pay for it, then we pay for the school.
Take the 40,000 that was going to put the new gym in the Walters Park and use that to pay for the kids to play.
Well, I promise you that this council will find a solution for the children of every youth organization. So I can tell you this, that both myself and Council Vice President have been on the phone multiple times this week with the youth organizations trying to hash it out. And quite honestly, she's been putting in a heck of a lot more work than I have. She's doing a great job, so thank you.
Yeah, I was disappointed. I honestly thought there would be money that hadn't been utilized because nothing's been done. The fields didn't get done, nothing got done, so, except what had to be done.
Okay. Well,
But we'll take a look at what's left somewhere.
that works.
Okay?
I appreciate that, Council Vice President. Thank you.
I'll call the mayor's office.
Councilman Davis.
Very briefly, hope to see everyone at Public Blues on Saturday. Also, there is, for those who are athletically inclined, there is a 5K starting at Walters Park at 9 a.m. on Saturday.
We'll take
I know,
pictures.
Mr. Thompson's been recruiting very heavily, so I know if I don't show up, I'm going to be in big trouble. So I hope some of you guys will come out as well. That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman McVeigh.
Council President, you mentioned before your receipt of a traffic study. I would like, if it's all right with you, if you can forward that to me regarding the Lewis Street. I do have experience with that. We talked about.
I'm going to forward it to everyone.
Yeah, I'd love to take a look at that, my eyes on that. And we were talking, some citizens came up tonight, talked about the parking, the corners. I know, well, I am receiving a few emails regarding that. I think because of my background earlier, we just made myself the liaison of police. It's not really a permanent position, but let's be honest, I says I can write all the emails I want, suggestions. No one has to listen to me or what I have to say. So it's really on the mayor's job to do so. The mayor is the boss of the police chief, and right now it's those two have to work it out. So when you get these concerns, you know, in the beginning I tried, but there's a lot going on in town. I'm not getting a ton of response, to be transparent with you. So let's just say, you know, until we ever have a public safety director overseeing police, fire, and EMS, then that person can work it in between the mayor. But for now, the mayor and the police chief, and we will do our best to send the information. Otherwise, those men have to do the job and just disseminate that information down. Regarding Council Vice President, you mentioned you want me to look into. I was going to touch on the
Drug activity on South Main Street.
Yeah, again, that falls, especially something of that serious nature, that definitely falls into the line of communication with the police chief, and some of them may be sensitivity matters that really can't be even divulged if they're working on extinguishing operations or any co-ops of different agencies, the county or state. So with that being said, again, we can run that information up. Until this time, we can only suggest. It was only there, like ceremoniously, I put there. I want to talk about, real quick, the changes to the room. I commend Council President for actually, after 2 weeks ago, what we went through, we took action. Okay, I've said it before, I love our working council. And I include not just the 5 of us, but the plus 2, the 7 of us. It takes a lot to put 7 people together and make it work. As you saw tonight, it was fine. Some people came up to the podium and were talking about differences and politics, and I don't really know where we were going with that, but I think we had a really good meeting, and this is kind of how we work together. It's fine, and I got all of you trumped because our information, our council stuff has gone back to France. I've had that combined, so I don't know where the farthest thing was, Trent and I heard, but it's for DC, it's France, and I confirmed that. I'll talk to you on the side if you want about that. It's our council room. It was mentioned that the information that comes out of this council room. Okay, well this is our meeting, and this is what we have to work with. So when there's a lot of we have to work together, we have to. Well, it takes 2 to tango. So all I can say is, on behalf of, I'm saying this individually, is that our house, as you can see, is in order. We took proactive measures to make sure that the residents and our elected officials and our sworn, whomever, is in the best way to make this work. So we took proactive measures, a proactive approach to make it work. So we are doing exactly what you want us and elected us to do. We're working together to make the best decisions for Phillipsburg all around. Again, our house is in order. So with that being said, let's not forget it's Wear Your Pink. It's Cancer Awareness Month. And that's all I have, sir.
I don't have much, actually. I do want to thank you. I want to thank Lee Clark for his comment. And I'll tell you why, because Lee, you don't mind if I call you Lee, right?
Go for it.
Okay. Lee, you made the most sense out of, what I've listened to this evening with regard to, social media. You're right, we need to ignore it. It does need to stop, right? So I get screenshots all day of the things people say about me. It's interesting because you'd think on the Progressive Democrats page, or the Progressive Phillipsburg page, is that what it is, Progressive Phillipsburg page? You would think that I was the second coming of Satan with some of the things that are said about me. But I have 17 layers of skin. So what I would ask is, it is a group that you are a member of. When you see that stuff happening, I'd ask, maybe you ask them to stop, or ask them to call me. Because I would sit down with anyone at any point in time, have a cup of coffee with you, and discuss the differences. The last thing I will do is go after, I would take personal attacks. I don't know if anybody has seen my Facebook, right? Lately it's been vacant, it's kind of like a vacant playground. There's nothing on my Facebook, right, except pictures of my kids. And actually I shared something out that Hope Duncan did the other day, because it was honestly, it was something that similar to what you just said today, right? It's about getting along, because we can disagree. And that's one of the greatest things about this town, is we used to be able to disagree and move forward. For whatever reason today, that doesn't seem to be the case, right? We did have an incident here last week. Before I touch on that, again, thank you for what you said tonight. And I mean that.
Yeah, not a problem.
Made,
and if you could do the same on
I
conservative
will.
sites as well, like what's really going on people.
I'll tell you what, I tell you, I don't go on that page.
I don't blame you.
Okay? I literally stick to my timeline, and I reach out to friends every now and then, but I honestly can tell you that I do not go on Facebook. But I will tell you this, and I'll make you a promise. If I do see somebody bad-mouthing you or saying anything, I will stop it, okay? I promise.
Take you up on that offer.
No, that's because at some point in time, this town really does have to come together. Because it is bad. It is bad. It's horrible right now. I mean, I can't go to my daughter cheerleads, and I can't go to her game because of how divided we are in this town, because of what's being said out on Facebook. I don't go on Facebook and create crazy posts. But I've seen what's been said. So if I go out there, some of this misinformation that's out there, some people are going to say something. I have my kids with me, right? That's horrible. A month ago, I was taking money out of an LMR truck. My daughter saw the picture.
What?
Yeah, she come home. That stuff doesn't bother me. It does bother me a little bit when my kids see it, right? But they understood. I knew what I was getting into when I ran for this position. But I'll tell you what, I'm not going to stop, because I got 3 years. I did have somebody ask me for my resignation, and I'll tell you what, I'll give you my resignation on January 1st, 2023, because I'm in it to win it. I am going to go the entire time. That's what I'm here to do. This town eventually really does need to stop with the bullshit, and I'll say it. Okay? No, I really don't want anybody clapping. I really don't. What I want is the moniker or the classification of Democrat and Republican to disappear. Disappear completely. That's all I want. I really do. And we ran against each other, right? Shook your hand. We were polite to each other the entire time.
It was a fantastic time.
It absolutely was. It absolutely was. Truthfully, I think the noise around us was worse than this. So if we're able to ignore that, and listen, I mean, there's a lot people can say about me. I'm an open book, and I'm okay with it. And I'm sure you may be the same. I don't know, because I don't care. Not that I don't mean it in that
I got it.
But I just I think we really just need to cut it. Tonight was a great working, it was a great night. Except for almost lost my temper there. I will not apologize for that. Again, you own property in the town. I want you to take care of your property. I understand the man's frustration, but I work for you. That's who I work for. I work for you. You're not happy, I'm not happy. Clearly, the neighbors aren't happy. So, Councilman, I'm truly sorry about what happened to your property. I think it's disgusting and deplorable. You see what I did there? Deplorable? See that? Right? Get rid of that Democrat Republican thing and just said deplorable. But no, I think it's horrible what happened to your property. And I think that if all of us just lose the garbage of the Facebook, get off of Facebook. Honestly, it's been exhilarating for me to get off of Facebook. And focus on your neighbors. You'll get along a hell of a lot better than you will today. That's all I have. We do need to move forward. We have raffle licenses.
So moved.
I motion to adopt both raffle licenses.
At the same time, roll call. Yes.
So moved.
Yes. Seconded by Mark.
Let's help Councilman Davis here, guys.
Yes.
Councilman Lutz? Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Yes.
Council President Colbert?
Yes.
I also
So-
motion to waive the fees for the festival.
And also approve the festival.
Is that-
We have to approve the permit as well.
oh, sorry, approving the permit and waiving fees.
Yes.
Second. Thanks.
You're welcome. Roll call.
Yes.
Councilman Lutz? Councilman Davis?
Yes.
Council Vice President DeGirolamo?
Yes.
Councilman McVeigh?
Motion
Yes.
adjourned.
Council President?
So moved.
What did he say?
Yes. And motion to adjourn, seconded.
I'll see you tomorrow.
All in favor?